What's up, y'all? It's your boy Drew Smith, the Dreamer, and you are now watching Gospel Goodies TV.
Gospel Goodies.
Gospel Goodies. Gospel Goodies.
This is Gospel Goodies.
Man, today, if I could listen to one song off the project today, at this moment, if I'm stuck on the island, I'm going to say the intro. I'm just going to go with 2 a.m. I think it's like the perfect intro, and I love that record. It's 2 a.m. and I'm living. I'm switching lanes, and Lord, you know I'm driven. Been in this race a lot of miles, but I ain't tripping. And they just think that I'm so different, I'm no different. I've been lately listening to Survivor on repeat, only because I want to include it in my sets. I think it's too powerful of a song not to include in my sets. In making that inclusive, I definitely just been constantly listening to that lately. One of the most personal songs on the project is Survivor and I would say Gold Star. They both are super personal, real life experiences. But in regards to Survivor, man, that's just I wanted to create a song that was talking about being down and out in a way, in a sense. The hook says, I'm a survivor, not a warrior. And the reason why I wrote that, because in this life, when we engage in trial and turmoil, it's not something that we prepare for. We don't prepare, we don't train to overcome those things. We learn to overcome them as we go through them, which makes us a survivor of whatever we're experiencing at that point in time in life. So that's what that song is about. Talking about my car accident that I was in, talking about being someone that it seems like it's hard to keep a 9 to 5, whether it's me getting tired of the 9 to 5 because I just feel displaced most times, and I feel like, I'm just living and wasting my life away. I know there's lessons in everything, and something else I talk about knowing that I'm purposed to be something, knowing that I'm purposed to be a king, that God anointed me, to be king, but doesn't feel like I'll ever make it. And I related that story to David. He was tending sheep. It was a process before he ever became king. And so I just want to encourage people with that record that it's a process before you ever become into the fullness of what God created you to do, or until you ever become or walk into the fullness of whatever that vision is that God promised you. I've seen a lot of things God promised that has not occurred yet, but I know that they will. I believe they will. And I just have to be patient and endure the waiting period. I write for the world in general. One of the things when I first started out making music, I was intentional about why I was making music. And I heard God's voice very clear. It was in 2000 and, what were we talking about? 2009, 2010. I was super clear about when creating music that I wanted to make music that wasn't confided to the church or didn't fit into that one barrier, but that there's a whole entire world that can hear the music. It's not confined to Philadelphia. It's not confined to 1 or 2 places, but it's a world music. So when writing my music, I never really think about who may get offended in that moment. I don't really think about who's going to love it in that moment. I'm just creating from the heart, not with the intent I hate what I see. I'm just writing it, but it's just these are issues, real issues that get glorified. And I don't want to be a part of the way that just, oh yeah, it's great. Hey, whatever happens is whatever happens. That's not true. That's false. That's false to speak that. And talking about just different rappers who glorify killing and shooting, but if one of us get killed by a police officer, then they're marching. It doesn't make sense to me. It's conflicting. It's fickle-minded because, you talk about, I'm going to shoot this, wrap your mom up, and come into your kid's room, whatever. They talk real crazy and reckless, but then they're protesting about, oh, man, this is crazy. We need to stop. We don't want to be killed. We need to stop killing each other. Well, if that's true, ma'am or sir, I would think that your music would reflect that conscience that you really have. So, and it's just pushing and encouraging people just to be true to that. If that's how you really feel, let your music reflect that. I don't ever want to be an artist that writes something opposing to how I really feel that's not true to yourself. You know, you just that's when you can say that people are puppets for the industry, and there's a lot in the industry. So I just want to be able to help change that. I think rapping was more of a challenge for myself. I never was super into hip hop growing up. I never really cared. My mom always would play different songs. I would hear Biggie, I would hear Tupac on the radio, but and the records were good. It was like that soulful, like feel. They was telling stories, and just early on, that's what I was used to hearing. But singing was just that's what my mother promoted. So I was on every choir. I was doing everything you could think in a book, Milk, ensemble, the chorus. I was doing musicals. Like, I was just always singing. And I thank God for that, because it actually was just shaping and perfecting my love for music. But when it came into the hip hop thing, it was just an opportunity that was there. Like, hey, I can start rapping with these guys that was from my church, this group. And I was like, I'm going to take the challenge. And I always was a writer, period. I love writing stories, just period. Journaling, that's what I did. English was my strongest major, of course. So I just took that and decided to shape it. It was a challenge. I was terrible in the beginning of it. I'm still growing today, but it's just dope. And then as I gotten older, I realized that hip-hop is pretty much one of the #1 influences in the world. Like, hip-hop culture is huge amongst different cultural barriers. Like, it crosses cultural barriers. It's not limited to just the urban community. You feel what I'm saying? So I have an opportunity to be a part of something super big, but to influence it in a way that's pushing people to hope, pushing people's hearts to want to be converted and know that there's something greater out there. And it's not enough of us. It may seem like it's enough of us, but it's not enough of us with that that have that intent, and that's okay. Some people are built to edify the church or the body as they're believers and making music, and that's cool. But then there's some of us who are called to, make music in excellence, be excellent in our craft, but gotta just place it strategically in certain parts of the industry or the world, period. Whatever workplace, whether you're called to be a doctor or a lawyer, he'll call you to be in some place where you can have integrity and just love on people, and not everybody's, going to be assigned to do that. So I'm just excited to be a part of that. My greatest lesson in this journey, being an artist so far, has been learning not to ever limit God and how He's to shape you reaching where you think your destination is. And I say that to say, I love when I'm playing at clubs or different night bars or different concerts with people who may be unchurched or don't know who Jesus is, because I'm able to, again, show them something different. Today's world calls it a vibe. They say, oh, the vibe, the energy is crazy. But really, what they're feeling is Jesus, man. What they feeling is God just all over me. And when I hit the stage, when I interact with them, that's what they see, but they can't exactly identify with what that is. And I love those moments. I love those things. I love being able to be called different. Like, yo, you're so different. But what the difference is something they can have as well. You know what I mean? So I love that part. And then the second thing I love is when I'm just doing strict Christian-based events, and I was able, like, I do youth conferences and different things like that, speak at different places, and it's so dope that I can do that same music in that environment, and then it turns into like a big thing of we're able to pray for people, we believe in God for healing for different people's lives, we're impacting people. We've been on this journey. We've been impacting different clusters in the United States, and what's dope about it is a lot of them have grown up being told that hip-hop is super negative and is like to stay away from it. And then some of them never, ever witnessed a hip-hop concert in their life, like ever. And so me and a homie by the name of Doc Hero and a few other of us, we're able to literally be the first people that they ever get to witness. Like, how amazing is that to know that hip-hop was super negative to them, that they've seen a concert that we put on, and then at the end we're able to speak about Jesus, right? And how dope he is, and just who he means to us in our lives. And then not only are they like super on fire at that point to like, yo, my faith is dope, but they're able to say like hip hop ain't negative, and they're blasting dope music. So when they hear that stuff, they're able to contrast like, oh yeah, my mom and them did say this is crazy, like don't listen to this, but mom, look at this, like I have an alternative now, because the hip hop culture is dope. It's a dope culture to be a part of. The energy about it is amazing, but you know, we're able to offer something that's just you know, refreshing.
It's 2 a.m. and I'm living. I'm switching lanes, oh Lord, you know I'm driven. Been in this race a lot of miles, but I ain't tripping. And they just think that I'm so different. I'm